Hey everybody, what is going on? Rick here with a definitely new idea for a video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. This video is going to be longer, for sure. And I want to tell you guys about my trip I took. So Bridget and I recently celebrated our 6-year dating anniversary. And we were looking for something to do, somewhere to get away, take some time off of work. And we both we haven't watched in a while, One Bite videos, Dave Portnoy's videos where he reviews pizza. And I remember him talking about New Haven, Connecticut, known as the pizza capital of the world. I did some research, saw that New Haven was about 3 to 4 hours depending on traffic patterns and everything. And I kind of timed it where after the 4th of July, which I had a few days off for, I took the rest of the week and basically got 9 days off of work. But we took a mini trip to the Connecticut area, New Haven in particular. We also passed areas like Stamford and saw the new WWE headquarters. We actually made a special stop because you can't go in the building. Took pictures of the new building, me in front of the new building. And the thing I might try to do in this video is maybe pop up some photos. There will definitely be a few photos in the thumbnail of the video. So we got away. We ate a lot of pizza. The pizza was amazing. Sally's was the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life. But the thing I wanted to do in this video that is different from videos in the past is everything in this video will not be in my July pickups, and that might cause the July pickup video to be super short. I wanted to show you guys everything that I bought on this trip. And what I mean by that is, you guys know, I started out as just buying movies for the collection. Then I fell into some cool deals, whether it was from there was a yard sale in one development I lived in that kind of got me into flipping, and I made a lot of money on it, and I was able to put that money into collecting. And I've bought multiple collections since then where I've basically funded my collecting through flipping. So I still collect movies, as you can see behind me and to the side of me and all over my living room. I collect movies, and that is a passion of mine. But the money I make from my job doesn't really go towards my collecting. It goes towards my personal life. It goes towards food and a house or a roof over my head and clothes for my son and all that good stuff. Where the flipping basically has funded my collecting and kind of turned into its own business. As I've talked about many times, I always mention my eBay page, which can be found down below. So with this video, I wanted to show everything we bought, including stuff to flip. Talk about some of the places we went to along the way. I've saved all my receipts. I kept them in a pile. I want to start out by mentioning a few videos or a few places we went where I don't have either something to show for it or I don't want to hold up stuff. So the two places I want to mention, JB Sports Cards. As you guys know, I've gotten back into collecting wrestling cards, and it kind of wavers and wanes. I really need more time in the day. I need clones to be able to go through everything. But JB Sports Cards was an awesome sports card store by the hotel that we stayed at in Milford, Connecticut. So I will show their card there. So an awesome sports card store. They had collectibles. They had tons of boxes. They had hobby boxes, which we don't really have in this area, a store like this. Here's their website. So, but they have all sorts of stuff. And they had wrestling cards. So bought a few boxes of wrestling cards and did a break on the first night of our vacation. It was a travel day. It was a long day. I got stuff from those places. The other place we went to that I did not grab anything from is a record store, which I already told my buddy Joe Martinez about. Red Scroll Records. If you guys are ever in the Connecticut area, it is in Wallingford, Connecticut. If you guys are record collectors or CD collectors, go to this place. The CDs, they pretty much had boxes upon boxes underneath all of the records where they kept $3 CDs. and you could spend days in there going through all the CDs. We had a bunch of stops we wanted to make the day we went, and I really didn't want to go through a bunch of CD boxes, and I don't collect records. I called Joe from the store and I was like, you have to make a trip here. Like, Joe's gotten really big into collecting records, as you guys know. I assume you watch Joe's channel. If not, go check out the Martinez Joe 74 channel. Why aren't you subscribed? Go subscribe. But Red Scroll Records, if you guys are into records, check them out. And we're going to get into this. I'm hoping receipts won't blow away. We also went to a bunch of Goodwills, and I think I only got stuff from 2 of those Goodwills. A lot of the Goodwills in the Connecticut area that we were in weren't very great. Pricing was better than up here. A lot of $2 DVDs. They had a lot of half-price stuff going on, but I only bought from 2. So the first store we went to is the Archive. A lot of you guys might be familiar with the Archive. It is a store in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was literally the first place we stopped. I believe this was after we went to the WWE headquarters. We went to the Archive. And what an amazing store. What an overwhelming store. The guys working there were super nice. I'm going to kind of hang off to the side in case I flash photos up. I'm going to try to do that. This video might take a little longer for me to edit. So, walked in. They were boutique people. There was tons of new boutique titles. Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, a little bit of Criterion, but tons of boutique stuff, brand new. The whole upstairs was records. They had a downstairs that was VHS and records. They had tons of DVDs. I didn't even really go through the DVDs. I focused on, they had used Blu-rays in the front of the store I looked at. They had a whole section around the staircase of used Blu-rays, and they had a wrestling section. They had a other region section. It was a very cool store. They had all sorts of vintage T-shirts. It was just a sweet store. So I wanted to get something there. I wanted to support the store. Wanted to show I was there. So I got 2 things. The first one here is a Blu-ray I did not own, and that is Chloe. I did not own this in the collection. Definitely wanted to add it in the collection. Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore. Hey, very nice. But in my head, I was thinking Bridget and I had recently talked about her never seeing this movie and me seeing it. The movie in my head was Carol, which is also not exactly the same type of movie, but also I see lady's name. That sounds awful. A lady's name that begins with the letter C, Chloe, Carol, 5 letters. So this was $8. I grabbed this. It's a little bit harder to find on Blu-ray, and like I said, I did not own that. So I grabbed that to add to the collection. But the other thing I got, and talks about how amazing this store was price-wise, for $12, I got an Archive t-shirt. So this is the front of the Archive t-shirt. It has the logo there. And in the back is the business card design. So a pretty cool shirt. I'm a bigger guy. This is a bigger size shirt. And it might be a shirt that I wear around the house mostly. Occasionally I will wear out. But this was $12. And the thing they do, this is a 2X. They use old pop culture trading cards for their shirt tags. So this is a Twilight Zone card. And the t-shirt was only $12. They had hoodies. They had some vintage t-shirts that were really cool. But I figured $12 for a t-shirt to support the place, I would definitely do. And grab a copy of Chloe. I took a few pictures inside the store, as well as the outside of the store. Like I said, that was kind of the start of the trip. Got right into it. The other place I don't have a business card from, and I don't remember the exact name of the store, but I can tell you it was right in the heart of New Haven area, right by Yale University. Yes, the Yale. It's called Book Traders Cafe, and it's basically there's a coffee shop that does fresh baked goods. They bake their own baked goods, and it has a bookstore in it. And I saw they had movies, so I stopped there And this I got to resell. It is Voltron. I'm trying to remember. Collection 6 Air Team. Paid $4.98 for this. And it's to resell. It comes in the box. And the discs were all minty fresh. So I grabbed that, like I said, to resell. So that's that. Let's see here. I had an idea of how I wanted to do this in my brain. We'll see how it works out. I think I'm just going to wing this. All right. So we went to a Savers. I'd only been to Savers, I think, once before, and that was before it turned into a Goodwill in our, it's not even our area proper. It's like probably 45 minutes to an hour away. And through watching thrifting videos, which I do watch quite a bit, I learned about the bagged toys and the bagged electronics, looking for like cards and that kind of stuff. And I started finding like pop figures. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they were priced like $7 a bag for a few pops. Well, there was a particular bag that caught my eye for $2.49. The bag is still sealed. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's still staples in the bag. And there was a reason I wanted to buy this bag. So it wasn't for the Cuphead pop, which I don't even know how you're supposed to display this. Do you just set it like that? So there was the Cuphead toy. There was a Cuphead toy, and you guys are probably like, are you into Cuphead now, Rick? No. Bridget has been searching for a particular group of pops from one of her favorite shows, and this caught my eye. It has some wear. There's some scratches on it, but for $2.49, Tina from Bob's Burgers. Like I said, there's some scratches on the head. It's not in mint condition, but for $2.50, it just caught my eye, and I was like, I gotta grab that. Like a Tina Pop, like we've been trying to find it. It's like $40-50 in its box. So I figured for $2.50, I think I'm gonna try to set her up on top of the DeLorean. I'm not gonna do that right now. I have too much to show you guys. But it's the first time I've ever bought a pop outside the box, and I'll try to sell the Cuphead ones. If not, I'll donate them. So where do I want to go to next? I guess we'll talk about a Goodwill next. This was one of two Goodwills I bought stuff from. These were all yellow tags, so they were half price. So these were $1 each. They're all CDs. We got Adam Sandler, What the Hell Happened to Me, which has Ode to My Car. It has the Hanukkah song is the biggest song on here. I owned this CD back when I was a kid. I probably was listening to this when I was way too young, like 12 or 13 years old. And then I think about RJ, who's into Adam Sandler, and he's going to be 13 years old very soon. So I grabbed that. And then this was a cool find. Is the Best of Unplugged 1, 2, and 3. Some of the bands on here, you have Eric Clapton, Alanis Morissette, REM, Paul McCartney, Live, Phil Collins, Elton John, Hootie and the Blowfish. So I grabbed those for $1 a piece. I thought it would be a cool group of CDs to own in the collection. I'm trying to save my favorite store for last. So I'll talk about this pile of stuff, which would be the other Goodwill we went to, which was right by the Mohegan Sun Casino, where we saw the Bare Naked Ladies. So the Bare Naked Ladies are a band that I've always been a fan of. I'm not some massive, like, I love the Bare Naked Ladies, the greatest band ever, but I've always enjoyed their music. And we had the opportunity to go see them, as well as Delamitri and Five for Fighting. Five for Fighting blew me away with their show. Fantastic live performance, and the tickets were very affordable, and it was a fun show. The Bare Naked Ladies were super fun. Mohegan Sun was a beautiful casino. It was a beautiful arena. It was voted like best arena in the country like 12 of the last 20 years or something crazy. So I'm going to turn off the fan because my receipts keep blowing away. All right, we'll turn that off. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot in here. So this was all stuff from the Goodwill in the area of the casino. We actually went to one other store, and that will be talked about later. You'll see what I mean. So this was a bad buy. This store had absolutely no internet at all. The internet sucked in this store, to be perfectly honest. So I had to use the brain to make buys, and this was a bad buy because I've sold sealed copies of Sweat Into the Oldies. I thought this would be good. It's Richard Simmons straight from the heart. This was not a smart buy. This is worth less than the $2 I paid for it. So that hurts. Not a smart buy. But that was the worst buy I made in the store. I also bought a sealed copy of Lillian Russell. This was a good buy. This goes for some decent money. A mint copy of Shag, and these were all $1.99 so far. So Shag always sells well when I get it for eBay, so I grabbed that. This is another solid find. Colin Firth in like a sexy Miramax flick. The Advocate, so I got that to flip. This was a very solid find for $1.99. I Walked with a Zombie and The Body Snatcher, two classic horror films. This was one of the better buys at the store. I think two of the best buys I made in the store, this being one. For $2.99, I grabbed this double feature of Out to Sea and Unfaithful Years. Unfaithful Years I actually found in another store. We'll talk about that soon. And realized that that was worth really good money. And I know Out to Sea was hard to find for a while. So when I saw this again in a double feature, both discs mint, I looked this up. It's like a $40 to $50 DVD. This was $3. So that makes up for my stupidity on the Richard Simmons set. This I thought was just a cool set. It is The Crazies and Let Me In on Blu-ray. This was $3. I believe this is an Alliance release. Maybe not. Nope. It's not an Alliance release. It's Anchor Bay. So, the case needs to be replaced. I have to do some case replacing for sure on stuff, but I thought this was a cool find, so I grabbed that. I was initially going to keep this. I watched Let Me In once, and I ended up not keeping it, so there's no sense of adding the double feature in, because The Crazies I've watched once. I don't think it's something I've wanted to revisit. This is probably something, I initially laughed at the idea of this movie. I think it's a ridiculous idea. Personally, it's a new release, but I've heard really good things about it. So I've watched stupider movies in my time, so I may watch this before selling it. But this was $3, a 2023 movie. It is 80 for Brady. I do know it is on streaming, so maybe I will just sell it. It was $3. I'm hoping stickers come off easy. I have not messed with that yet. I think Bridget and I will do some sticker peeling probably later on today. So, yeah, 80 for Brady for $3. And then this was a really good find. I was pretty confident in this find as well when I saw it. And as the Blu-ray of Amelie, which I also paid $3 for. The other thing I bought at this store, which I do not have on me, they had bags of baseball cards and football cards. Usually when you find bags of cards, it's from somebody who goes through and pulls out all the good cards and donates all the crap. But I saw 2021 Optic football cards. Actually, Bridget found them. She called me over. And 2023 Bowman baseball cards. She called me over. They were priced at like $7 a bag. We got them. There were lots of star cards in there. There were no Eagles. There were no rookie cards at all. So somebody pulled out all the good stuff. They left all the star players and the older players in there. That's fine. In the baseball, there were a few Bryce Harpers who RJ collects. So that was cool. So yeah, that was everything from Goodwill. And then the last store we went to that isn't the final part of this video, which, man, I'm looking at the time of this video. I wonder if I should do a second part. We'll talk about it in a minute. This was kind of cool for me. I watched Thrift School's channel on YouTube, and when we pulled up to this store, which was the last store we went to before going back to our hotel the last night, I realized that it's the red, white, and blue thrift that Thrift School goes to all the time. So that was pretty cool for me. As a fan of his channel, I realized as soon as we showed up, I was like, I know that thrift store from videos. So it was cool. We got there like 20 minutes before they closed, so I knew where to look. I knew exactly where the movies and video games were. We peeked at the toys as well. Only found one title, and this is a flip. I want to say there were a bunch of sales, but I want to say this was full price. It is Shine on DVD, brand new, factory sealed. Paid $2 for it. I think the cheapest one on eBay is like 25 or 30 bucks. So that was a good buy, a nice flip. Obviously, he hasn't been there because he always scans to resell on Amazon, and I feel like if he saw this, this would have not been there. So that is it outside of a particular store that we went to 5 of, and that is Game Exchange. I've heard about Game Exchanges from videos in the past, thrift school videos. I want to say Chase After the Right Price has probably been to Game Exchanges, if I remember correctly. Maybe Phoenix Resale. Not 100% sure. But I saw there were a few Game Exchanges that we had on our list. Went to one the first day, found a handful of titles, and they did like a buy 2, get 1 free deal for me. Then we went to another one, and they had a buy 4, get 6 free deal on DVDs, $5 and under. I was talking to the guys that worked there, and they said, we'll do buy 4, get 6 free on any movies you buy, Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs. I was like, well, this changes things. So I ended up buying 20 titles at that store. That was a great haul. I went to another store, which is the one right by the Goodwill and the Mohegan Sun. That was the best haul of all. That's getting shown last. Went to 2 more the last full day we were there. One was a total bust. I have a small handful of stuff. And the other produced titles, but had some of the most miserable, ignorant employees in it. So a couple of the stores were really great. The employees were really awesome. A couple of the stores, it looked like kids just hanging out at a store that were working there. And then the last store, which was the one right by the red, white, and blue thrift, I want to say in Waterbury, Connecticut. They were not the greatest employees in the world. So I want to try to do this. Oh no, I skipped a store. Oh crap. I knew this was going to happen. Alright. Hold on. I forgot to turn titles the opposite way. Alright. Sorry. We went to a store called Retro Games Plus, which is based out of California and Connecticut. And they had a buy 2, get 1 free sale going on their Blu-rays as well. And I grabbed 3 titles, one to flip, which is an 8 film, was it 8 films to talk about? It looks like an 8 films to die for. It's a ghost house movie called Offspring. I got that to resell. I honestly was looking for a 3rd title. The 2 titles I got for me, one is called Nobody Walks, which is a Magnolia film starring Olivia Thirlby, Rosemary DeWitt, and John Krasinski. Sounded interesting, and I had to grab this for me. Love concert Blu-rays and DVDs, and it's Incubus Live at the Red Rocks. So those were both, these were all from Retro Games Plus. So that was like $10 I spent on those. Oh man. See, that's why I should have been looking through my receipts. Man. Okay. So the first Game Exchange we went to, I got 3 Blu-rays. I spent $12.74, and none of these are for me. These were all to resell. The first one is A Star is Born. This being A Star is Born from 1937. It is a Kino release, but it's an old Kino release, Kino Classics. Next up, Santana's Greatest Hits live at Montreux, 2011. So I got that to flip. And then this one this looked cool. It looked like something I never saw, and this is worth some solid money. Chances Are on Blu-ray with Robert Downey Jr. and Mary Stuart Masterson. So I paid $12.74 for the 3 of these. That was a really smart buy. At this point of the video, I'm going to stop and I'm going to take a second video and we'll mash them together. So I'm going to do this and I'm back. Maybe a double snap, maybe a single snap. Hopefully that worked in editing. So 4 more game exchanges we went to. Let's see here. Let's go through the pile. I hope I have all my receipts. It seems like I'm missing receipts, honestly. It might still be in the bags. This was the game exchange in Wallingford. This one was a bust. This was one of the ones we went to on the last day because the rest are all broken down by bags. I spent $9.56 at this store. I grabbed Saved by the Bell, the Vegas movie, and the Hawaiian movie. That is the flip. That was $1. Also for $1, Pet Sematary 2. We'll make a couple dollars on that. This is probably the best find for $1. The CB Strike, the series collection. This was $1. This looks like it sells for like $20 to $30. So I thought that was a solid find. And this is cool. Not something you come across on Blu-ray very often. An early James Gunn movie. I own this in my collection. But it is super on Blu-ray for $5.99. So like I said, I spent $9.56 at that game exchange. And then we're down to the big purchases. So let's see. I have these. Oh, guys, it's a mess. All right, so this was the Waterbury store. This was the store that we went to right before the red, white, and blue thrift. The people working there, not the most friendly. They were complaining. They were talking down to customers. I didn't dare ask if they would do the buy 4 get 6 free deal. The other weird thing is they noted that their dollar section, which was bigger than any other game exchanges, they wouldn't do buy 4 get 6 free on, which all the other stores were promoting. They wanted to do buy 4 get 6 free on the dollar titles. I'm not going to argue with people. There's no sense. So I bought a ton of dollar titles. I ended up spending $41 at this store. So I'm going to run through these fairly quick. We have a Lifetime double feature with Nicole Eggert and Linda Hamilton. Christmas, Home by Christmas and Holiday Switch. The Boogeyman trilogy. I'll let you know. These are all dollar titles. Children of the Corn 2 and 3. This one is for Bridget. She asked that we get this. It is Anna and the King, starring Jodie Fisher. That was $1. The Pest. That was $1. The Cat from Outer Space. Another Pet Sematary 2. I'm guessing they were worth decent money. This is for me. Barbarians at the Gate for $1. Rose Red for $1. That's a good find. Not as good as it used to be, but still a good find. This was a really good find. I was surprised by the value of this one. Bartleby, starring Joe Piscopo, David Paymer, Crispin Glover. So that was a really solid find. This is a movie to look out for on DVD and Blu-ray. Worth really good money, especially in mint condition. Sling Blade, sealed, it's worth really good money as well. So that was $1. That was an awesome find. This I need to see if I own. I'm pretty sure I do. If not, this will go in the collection. But it's Family Plot on Blu-ray, Alfred Hitchcock. Once again, another movie I have to see if I own or not to decide if it goes in the collection or if it gets sold. Miller's Crossing for $1. I got this to sell. Master of Zorro for $1 on Blu-ray. And the last little group here. The Sting on Blu-ray for $1. Like I said, not huge profits, but for $1, I couldn't pass on it. Then we have the the more expensive stuff. One title for me, The Rest to Sell. This was cool. It stood out because I feel like it's something you don't really see on Blu-ray very often. I think it came out fairly recently. It's the Mario Van Peebles movie, Posse, which stars Stephen Baldwin, Big Daddy Kane, Tiny Zeus Lister, Tone Loc. So that was a little more expensive. That was $7.99, but goes for really good money online. I should probably keep saying it goes for good money online. It's going to get very repetitive. I've heard good things about this. Somebody sent me a double feature Blu-ray of this, I believe. But this by itself goes for really good money, and this was only $3.95. It's Indian Summer, starring Alan Arkin, Bill Paxton. I've heard I would really like this movie. I have it in my collection. I have to watch that. This was a really good find. It's definitely in the wrong case, but I'll just swap out the cases and keep this case. Marked for Death, Steven Seagal. It's an out-of-print movie. It goes for really good money. So that was a cool find. And then the last title here, which we'll get to why I bought this. I would have bought it anyway because of the price, but there's a reason why I really wanted to get this when I saw it. It is Mickey and Minnie's 10 Classic Shorts for $5.99. And it says used, but it is brand new, factory sealed with the slip. So I got that for the collection as well. So that was the Waterbury store. Like I said, really good finds at that store. Not the greatest workers when I went. So like I said, the last two stores, the people working there were awesome. They were accommodating. The one store, they kept a lot of their movies in a drawer in envelopes, which I was worried about, but they were all Blu-rays, so they weren't really scratched up. I did 2 receipts. So this was a store that was promoting like buy our dollar titles. They're buy 4 get 6 for free. I only found a small handful of titles, but I was like, we'll just pick out 10 titles, and the 10 titles cost $4.24. And then I picked out 10 titles, and they did the buy 4 get 6 free. So that was $25.48. So all in all, I spent just under $30. And this was the Hamden, Connecticut store. The Game Exchange in Hamden, Connecticut. So I have to like log in all my purchases and do my gas mileage and all that stuff too. Another fun thing with reselling. So first we'll talk about the dollar titles, or at least 9 of the dollar titles. I'm going to save one for last. This looked like a interesting movie, plus it caught my eye because it's the guy from Career Opportunities. The disc on this has some scratches, but she'll play fine. Bridget picked this one out. Benicio del Toro, Frank Whaley, and Kevin Spacey, and it is Swimming with Sharks. So that was $1. That's for us to check out. Next up, brand new factory sealed, The Beatles, the first U.S. visit. Goes for good money on the dollar rack. So then we got Space Jam. I'm turning the fan back on because it's getting stuffy already. Space Jam on DVD. Not Space Jam. Space Camp on DVD for $1. So grab that. That's another good flip title. I own that already on Blu-ray, I think. I know I own Space Camp. I don't remember what format I own it in, but I own it. Once Upon a Mattress, a Disney title with Carol Burnett and Tracy Ullman. Got that to sell. This is where I learned about Unfaithfully Yours. So this paid for everything that I bought at the store, honestly. I spent just under $30. This gets all my money back. And there's, with all the other titles, like the trip's going to turn out to be profitable, and that's what I love. Like, we go on vacation. Bridget likes going in these stores with me. She looks for stuff. We get to go on a getaway. We get to eat delicious pizza. We get to go to a concert, and we'll end up making money from the trip, and we both enjoy it. So Unfaithful Years is a great flip. This just looked interesting. This will probably go in our collection to try to watch. It's a Jim Jarmusch movie called The Limits of Control. I've never seen it before. It just caught my eye. Like I said, I was just trying to grab titles at this point. All That Jazz. Got that to flip. Curly Sue. Grab that to flip. the Target exclusive Love, Simon, which comes with the slipcover, the diary, and the movie. That was $1, so that was a no-brainer to resell. Like I said, there's one more dollar title, which I'll talk about at the end of this pile. And this stack was $4 plus one more title I have, so that was an amazing deal. This pile I paid just over $25 for. This was one of the best finds at the store, one of the best finds of the weekend. It was 4 days. The Josephine Baker story on Blu-ray. They had trouble finding this one, which I got worried about. It's a very old price tag. It's very faded. This was $6. This resells for a really good amount of money. So, yeah. This is for me. It's because I own this movie. I love this movie, but I have the Canadian version, which doesn't have the title of the movie that it is in the US, which bothers me. So I'll get rid of the Canadian version and finally get the American version, and that is What If with Daniel Radcliffe, Zoe Kazan. Zoe Kazan? Is that her name? Yes. Adam Driver. Very funny movie. I cannot recommend this enough. Mackenzie Davis is in it as well. A great R-rated romantic. No, not R-rated. PG-13. Romantic comedy. Very funny, very original. Cannot recommend this enough. What If, guys? Check it out. This is also for my collection. This is priced at $7.99. Earth Girls Are Easy with slipcover, the Vestron video release. I own this, so this is the resell. It's Good to Be King, the Jerry the King Lawler story. Man, I'm confusing my piles. Jan Silent Bob Strike Back, the standalone release. That was priced at $5.99. That's the resell. I own that. This was the last title I grabbed because I just needed one more title. It is the Rob Zombie trilogy, $5.99. The House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. Best of WCW, Clash of the Champions. They had a lot of trouble finding this too. This movie used to be super hard to find. I have this in the collection. Love this flick. This was $7.99. Kings of Summer. Really, really good coming of age movie. I highly recommend. Do I own this movie? I do. So this is to sell. Wasn't sure if I own this or not. Fanboys. That was priced at $5.99. Another Steven Seagal movie that's hard to find and worth good money, and this was the last of the $25 titles, Hard to Kill. So, the other thing this store had was a bunch of newer releases for $15 or $16.99, and I seriously considered buying a bunch of the newer releases. If I bought 10 of them, they would have cost me $68, so $6.80 a title. They had stuff like Evil Dead Rise, Knock at the Cabin. I could have easily bought 10 newer titles and then resold them, but with my average cost of $6.80 and so many people having those movies, the profit probably would have been there, but it wouldn't have been super worth putting out the $68 plus tax for. But they had newer titles on the counter, and this caught my eye and wasn't priced, so I asked them, like, how much is this? Like, I'm interested in this one. And this was the last title as part of the buy 4 get 6 free dollar titles, because they told me this was $1. It is the Mickey and Friends 10 Classic Shorts Volume 2. They smacked the dollar price sticker on it, so that was like, these guys are awesome. Like, they're like, it's not in our system, you're gonna buy it, we'll price it at $1. I was like, okay. Now, I knew this had just come out. I assumed they didn't realize it's like a brand new release. So that's why I wanted to get the other Mickey set when I saw it. So that was awesome. Then the last store that we'll talk about now, it's the one by the Mohegan Sun. The two guys working there, super kind, super nice. The guy actually told me, like, I'll be at this store the next day. And we went and saw him at that store. The selection of that store was weak. That was the store I got the Saved by the Bell and the Super Blu-ray. I only spent like $9 there. This store, I bought 20 titles. I bought a pin for my sister. I bought a pop. or two. I may have bought a birthday gift for RJ, and I spent $144 total at this store. We went to this store right before we went to the concert. They had the best selection, hands down, of all the game exchanges. And like I said, the most friendly employees out of all the game exchanges we went to. The guys were super kind there. So much so that they talked me into going to the few other game exchanges that following day because we had gotten so much done the first 2 days of our trip. So I will show the 2 pops I got first, and now we'll show all the other stuff we got. So the 2 pops, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with these. This one is going into my collection. I do know that it's probably one of my favorite episodes from the show, and definitely one of my favorite characters from the show. It's a Chalice collectible exclusive, and the pops were buy one get one free if they were under $35. So that was the other selling point. It is Dwight Schrute playing basketball when they play basketball in the warehouse. I will say that there's a special edition of this that is Dwight without a shirt on because either shirts or skins. But the reason I like this is the shirt that Dwight's wearing says World Expo of Philadelphia 2002. So it's a neat little bonus thing. I'm from the Philadelphia area. Like I said, I love the show. I love Dwight, and this was one of my favorite episodes, so I had to grab it. This next pop was just really cool. We have to do some experimenting and see what it smells like. So this is a scented pop from the 2020 Summer Convention exclusive, and that is Paul Rudd's character Brian Fantana. This is the scented Funko Pop. So I'm wondering if it smells like Sex Panther. I kind of hope it doesn't, because the description of Sex Panther was pretty disgusting if I remember correctly. So, plus they came in pop protectors, which was a cool thing. So the pair of these was $25, which is a really, really good deal on just one of them. So to get both of them for $25, awesome deal. I kind of said I was done buying pops, but that deal was kind of too good to be true. I will say the Fantana pop has a slight... Is there a dent in the box? Maybe it's not a dent in the box. That might just be from the plastic. This one I'm not 100% sure I'm keeping. I may resell it to recoup the money. That's up in the air. Dwight I'm definitely keeping. So then the best selection of movies was at this store. This is what I bought. Buy 4 get 6 free. I bought 8 and I got 12 for free. So the only DVD I bought there, I didn't buy a lot of DVDs on this trip, honestly. I tried to focus more on Blu-rays. It was overwhelming in some of the stores, especially the game exchanges, the amount of DVDs. But this seemed like a too good to pass up deal. The Jetsons complete series for $10, although I saw it is currently on Amazon really cheap on Blu-ray, the complete series. But $10 for that one. Got that to flip. And then I don't know where to grab from. I guess I'll grab... Oh, there's so many good things. I love this collection of stuff I grabbed. So we'll do it this way. All right. Okay. The Piranha 3D, the remake, that's the flip. It was priced at $7.99. Like I said, if these stores didn't have that buy 4 6 free sale and were so kind, I wouldn't have spent nearly as much money as I did at the stores, but the guys were kind, the deals were there. A copy of The Wall with the slipcover. I sold the used version of this from my collection after I watched it without the slip for good money. This is with the slip, brand new factory sealed. This was priced at $7.99, so I thought that was a solid buy. Goldberg Blu-ray. WWE Blu-rays 9 times out of 10 are worth good money. This was priced at $7.95. I'm worried about a pile falling next to me. a Kino Lorber version of Cop Out, not the Kevin Smith film, but a movie from 1967. We have that. That was priced at $5.95. Another series to look out for that are usually worth good money is the Filmmaker series. Brothers Macmillan for $5.95. Grab that to flip. This one was for Bridget. This was another title off of her DVDs to upgrade sheet as Leap Year, which was $5.99. I was excited for this one. I have not seen it. I did not own it. It's on my Shia LaBeouf movies to watch list with the slipcover, brand new factory sealed, Man Down, priced at $7.99. Also starring Jai Courtney, Kate Mara, Gary Oldman, and somebody whose name is covered up. I'm guessing Clifton Collins Jr. So that is awesome. That's, like I said, been on my to watch list for a while. Grab that to add to the collection. If you know, you know. Yoga Hosers, $7.99. Brand new factory sealed with slipcover. Good find. Do I own this? Okay, I do own this. It's a digibook. North by Northwest, $5.99. Surprisingly, Warner Brothers hasn't released this to 4K. I really thought we would get this for the 100th anniversary. They still have 5 or 6 months, but there's been so many Hitchcock movies coming on 4K, but not North by Northwest. Probably my biggest omission from my watch history in Alfred Hitchcock movies. Now we're starting to get into the really, really good deals. This just caught my eye because of the cast. Honestly, I don't know if it'll be anything good, but it has Tim Roth, Alice Eve, Sofia Vergara, and Uma Thurman. I don't know if I said her name twice. I feel like I did. Also, Parker Posey, Maggie O, Crispin Glover, and Stephen Fry. It is a movie called The Con Is On. So I'll check this one out. I love a stupid comedy movie, and that's what this looks like. So grab that. I'll kind of show these in a pile. Halloween 4, 5, Resurrection, and H2O. All priced at $7.99 except for Resurrection. It's priced at $5.99. All Scream Factory releases, I believe from a box set. But they sell pretty good for solid money individually, and these were basically all free with the deal they had. Talked about this movie earlier. Thought this was the movie we were looking for. Or thought Chloe was the movie we were looking for. We were looking for Carol. So I came across Carol and grabbed that as well because that was the movie we had talked about that Bridget had never seen. So I grabbed that. That was priced at $9.95. So that's probably one of the ones I paid for. Another one of the ones I paid for. The slipcover's in a little bit of rough shape. It's on my to-watch list. The 4K of The Birth of a Nation. This being the... What year did this come out? 2016. Army Hammer's in this one. Like I said, the 4K with slipcover. Grab that. That was priced at $9.95. Perhaps the most valuable find at the store. The Lord of the Rings animated series or animated classic, priced at $5.99. I would have been buying this outright if there was no deal. This sells for like $50 to $60 easily on eBay. So keep your eyes out for this one. And then the last two finds, once again, if you know, you know. Daredevil Season 1, and then this one is really cool. Jessica Jones Season 1 with the slipcover. These titles are getting tough to come by because they were removed from streaming. They're added back to streaming. They did very limited runs on physical media. It looks like the person bought Daredevil from Goodwill, so good for them. But to find these on Blu-ray, especially with the slipcover, amazing finds. These were priced at $20 each. Well worth it. I definitely wasn't going to miss the opportunity to buy those. That is everything, guys. So this video is very long. Really fast before I close out, I want to mention that we tried 3 pizza places on the trip. One of the big reasons we went, as I mentioned earlier, modern Apizza, Abizz, if you want to say it like an Italian, I'm part Italian. So. Modern was delicious. We got really lucky. We got right in for a seat. The place was absolutely packed when we got there. We were there like 3:30 on a Thursday. It was jam-packed. Pizza was amazing. It was delicious. Frank Pepe, which we went to after the Bare Naked Ladies concert, so it was the Casino Frank Pepe. We still had to wait a half an hour for the pizza there because it was so busy. It was good. It was probably my least favorite. No, let me rephrase that. It was my least favorite of the three. We also went to an Irish pub right before in the Mohegan Sun called the Lansdowne. Delicious. Bridget got a chicken pot pie. I got a barbecue pork braised sandwich. It was amazing. And then the highlight of pizza, the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life, Sally's Abizz. We waited an hour just to get in to Sally's, and it was well worth it. You can see the look on my face in the thumbnail. You can see the look on my face next to me. The pizza was amazing. It was delicious. I would wait an hour again for that pizza. So the trip was magnificent. I love Bridget. I'm so glad we got to celebrate 6 years together with an awesome trip. Connecticut was great. The weather was great. The drive was not bad. Like I said, between 3 and 4 hours. Drive home was a little frustrating because my GPS kept redirecting us without notifying us. It's all good. We got home. We made it safe. We had an awesome trip. I did a ton of stuff for me, a ton of stuff to resell, and made for a great trip. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this different style video. This is a long one. So like I said, hopefully you made it to the end. If you made it to the end, if you're still watching, give me a hashtag DTM for life, like the NWO. So the number 4. So if you're still watching, DTM for life is the hashtag in the comments. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching this video. Be back probably in a few weeks with the July pickup video, which we're halfway through the month. I have nothing to show because everything I've bought so far, you just saw. So that video could be very, very tiny, but regardless, I will be back with July pickups. Thank you guys for watching. As always, who's down to movie?